Alright, hi guys, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be doing a challenge run where I'm only allowed to use Pataimels. One of the weakest minions in the game that you can possibly have. So I'm just setting up my settings real quick. And I think we'll just jump into it and then I'll start explaining the rules for what the run actually is. Oh, I'll start. There we go. So Pataimels are an enemy that we encounter at the very start of the game. They're in fact the first minion we encounter that isn't a boss. And they have terrible stats. And the goal of this challenge is to win the game using only them. Not merging them, not doing anything to them with regards to merging, and just using them outright. So there are restrictions on what Levant is allowed to do as well. We're allowed to use Deva's mirrors, healing items, and regular attacks, and of course capturing. But we are not allowed to use seal items, as that would be making it a bit too easy, I think. Because we could just jump straight to Moth Forest, do the Shulia strat to get a level 10 Pataimel. So I think that'd be a little bit too easy, so we're not going to be doing that. The only reason I like to keep the Deva's mirror permitted, just make sure my analog was on in the correct way. Yeah, the only reason I like to keep the Deva's mirror on is because otherwise you are going to run into just RNG reliance. Specifically, what you're going to find is that Detoris and Delphinel can inflict poison in Flesh to Stone, and it is simply chance whether or not your minion will actually get afflicted with that status condition. And I don't want to just butt my head against it forevermore.
His son is still so young. Too young to become a cocoon master. Run away, will you?
I don't like interrupting him, it feels very rude. I want to let him have his evil speech. But yeah, so we're only going to be allowed to use Buggy Boys, and they have terrible, terrible stats. To give you an idea, I'll compare them to Arpatron, our actual starter minion, the intended starter. They have lower attack, defense, magic, defense, and speed, and health. But they have more mana than Arpatron, and that is the only thing they've got on him. They also only have one magic attack, which is basic Fire Agni, which does 100% damage, as opposed to like Water Horn attack, which does 120% damage. And they don't have any special attacks. So they are not strong minions, to say the least. So we are going to be allowed to use more than one of them, because clearing the game with an Pataimel, or a Pataimel rather. Sorry, I said and for emphasis, but that was just not making any grammatical sense. Would be a practice in just over-leveling beyond belief. Getting loads of money for recovery items. And just wouldn't be fun, it would take too long. I don't fancy doing another 4-hour challenge this time. Yeah, we're allowed to do regular any percent strats within the constraint of we can't use seal items. So we won't be fighting every boss, for example. Alright, that is our first death. Got to go through all the usual starting sequence. Yeah, sadly they have terrible stats. If we could merge them, we could make them way more powerful, but if we permit merging, then... well, yeah, if we put merging, then anything's basically... well, you could use any base minion, it wouldn't matter. We could also consider this Oak Fire Minion only challenge, but If you told me to try and beat the game using only fire minions, I would not pick Pataimels to do it with. I'd probably pick Pataimels. Significantly better damaging stats, which is the only thing we care about. What's worse as well is, while Pataimels have equal attack and magic attack base stats and have a magic attack ability, the way this game works means the physical attack stat actually grows faster than the magic attack stat anyway. So our Pataimels, while they'll start with equal physical and magical attack, they'll end up with much higher regular attack damage. Which just makes that magic attack pretty much completely useless to us. If we could get level 2, tier 2 magic, so Agnia, on them, it would be a different story, because that does 140% damage, which is actually incredible. Costs a lot of mana, but the Pataimels have it, but we can't get that ability on them easily, since we can't merge things. The way you'd have to do it would be that you'd have to transpose the ability onto them through capturing ashes in the Moth Forest, but that would require us to beat Kikinak without the use of seals based on our rules. Which I think would be a little cheap. We are still going to transpose an ability onto them, because they do have the same ability as Arpatron with regards to hidden special attack up by 10%. So we are going to transpose a physical ability onto them to make them a little bit stronger without merging them. Stay within constraints of our challenge. It's probably possible to do it without doing that transposition. But I don't fancy a grind fest, where I'm just trying to get the Pataimels to high enough levels so that it doesn't matter that their abilities suck. Yeah. Sadly, it's basically useless. Since it just does 1 times damage, using a regular attack actually does the same amount of damage to most enemies. Unless they're like at an elemental disadvantage, of course. Like, it does more damage to wind enemies, but that's literally it. I guess it would also get buffed by arena advantage, so like against Taturis it would be slightly higher powered. But that's still not as good as a special attack on a Pataimel. Sadly for them. So we are going to have to spend a bit of time doing setup, getting those special attacks on those Pataimels. We'll do the same thing we did during the no mental attacks run. But instead of giving them an ability that we know they can't keep, we're just going to make sure they do keep it, and we won't be merging or capturing anything up beyond that point.
Your father was a noble man. Coward. According to tradition, I hereby proclaim your coming of age. Your bride from this day forward. Treacherous girl.
Sadly, we must kill the Buggy boy that's about to be sent out. Well, actually, we don't necessarily have to, but I don't really want to spend 10 minutes pressing the guard button while the bug slowly kills us. I'm kind of curious about what the dialogue is if you lose the fight against the Pataimel. I'm sure it's probably the same thing, actually. It probably just exits the same thing. But the only way to escape killing this poor Buggy boy is to block until it kills you. After, like, God knows how much time. I'm sorry I must do this to you, my child. But we shall have vengeance for you later. Or at least I hope we do. Yes, we shall get revenge for that Pataimel on the Dream Man. Didn't deserve it. He knew exactly what he was doing when he sent that Pataimel against us. One of the challenge runs I actually am thinking of doing at a later date would be magic only, to sort of redeem the magic attacks in this game, but I'm not quite sure what the route would be, or what minion you want to necessarily use, because maybe you would actually want to use Pataimels. Because the obvious choice is the Asher and Shulia. But the problem with using them is that they have the worst defense in the game. Like, comparatively, if you had even stats in this game, you would have base stats 100 in every attribute. Ashers have base 20 defense. So any physical attack from any boss, and it probably just dies instantly. Or it takes, a handful of hits. So it'd be much harder to defeat the boss. But they have Agnia and they have the best magic attack in the game. So you might want to middle ground it and use a Pataimel maybe. Get our supplies. Go to the watchtower. Why must you wait? Make me wait a sec. I don't want to. I don't want to wait a sec. I want to get out of here. Oh, if you beat him, I didn't really... Well, I suppose people must have used, I don't know, like infinite, like modifying the attack stat to be in the sky to actually defeat Dream Man or something like that to do it. That sounds about right. I wouldn't expect them to have coded in any kind of alternative ending for that. I just wanted to know if he insults you a bit extra hard if you fail to defeat the Pataimel. But yeah, it probably just goes to the same thing. It would make sense if it did. Alright, we're finally out of the introductory sequence. And we can go and ignore Chorus. He's going to try and teach us something and we're not going to listen to any of it. So we should be able to capture 3 Pataimels in one visit here, easily enough. May have to run back and forward a little bit to get them to respawn, because there's only going to be 2 in this room. And we'll have to, when we come back into this room, we have to do it twice, because we'll switch the elements. It's Jade Cocoon 2 where there are some minions that aren't. There's specifically, there are some Colma that aren't coded into the game properly. I believe they have encounters and they have seed beasts, but they don't have a spawn point, so you can never legitimately encounter them. I think it's 3 minions where they aren't coded in. This game has all its minions. There are some, to be fair, there are some unobtainable minions in this game. like there are the other elements of Arbitron, for example, you can't capture. The other elements of the secret minions, so of Twingu and Shirk, you can't get their alternate elements. Is this Pataimel escaping? I was gonna say, if that Pataimel escaped, that Pataimel escaped, oh my god. I don't actually know if they coded in different elements of Arbitron, actually. It might not have, but I know Twingo and Shrek have alternate elements and you can't get them. But I don't know if they ever intended you to be able to capture them. So it's not quite missing in the same way that the Jade Cocoon 2 ones are. Since those can't mirror what give you your abilities. It's kind of bad that they left those ones out. But you can use Cheat Engine or something to re-implement them into the game. And people have done that to also implement the actual Kalma minion itself to be capturable, or obtainable rather. I wasn't insulted. I am a champion of the Buggy boys. I'm going to carry them to victory, or rather they're going to carry me to victory. They're very capable guys, they just have terrible stats. I respect the Pataimels. I wouldn't plan to use them to win the game if I didn't. Right, now we got that. I'm gonna reset using this screen. Just because I'm a little bit superstitious and I find this one a little bit more reliable than the other one. I think it takes less time to check if the minions have respawned or not. This would be a Squasp if it came back, so we're going to leave, come back again. And hopefully it'll now be a Pataimel. There we go. Really, this is all an elaborate ruse for me to cover up the fact that I can't do the Pataimel dodge in the any %. I don't say that. If they're on to me, then they'll ruin my run later on. They'll intentionally miss. Okay, this should be the last one. This will get us to capture level 3. And then we're gonna begin ability transplanting shenanigans. The way that works, by the way, is basically the game doesn't, on the PAL version specifically, I don't think this is doable on the other versions. When you load the game, it doesn't affect the memory for Firefly Cocoon minions. It doesn't wipe it. It just does nothing to it. So it remains intact from how it was in the immediate state before you loaded. So basically, if you save the game, purify the minions, then capture some more minions, and then load the original game, then when you purify those minions again, they will have the abilities of the minions you last captured. And that's how you can transplant abilities onto minions without merging them at any point. So we're going to need to save the game in order to perform shenanigans. And now we need to purify our Pataimels. I don't think we'll need to equip them. So we should just be able to purify them and then leave straight away. There we go. But yeah, it also means that if you capture minions, save the game, then reset the console, the minions you then capture will have no abilities. Which is situationally useful. Not even outside of challenge runs, that is situationally useful. I use this a lot in the Eternal Corridor to get clean slate minions as like a base. Specifically spirals, typically. Right, so it's a squasp. We're gonna have to run from it. Was that Teddy Ursa in a part of the game, or was that traded for with someone else, like an actual person? Because I never played Gold. Yeah, I can respect that. Alright, this should be a Pataimel now, because it was a squasp in the... Yeah, it is. Alright, so I'm going to try and get this Pataimel to about half health and then try to capture it. I don't want to get it into red or nearly red, because then they start using their Horn Fire attack. And because we're captured level 3, we actually have a decent shot at it. Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. I assume this was Heart Gold then, since this is after Pearl. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, if it was already yours before, and now it's ignoring you. This Pataimel might escape. No? Okay, cool. That's a relatively clean capture. Yeah, we just don't want to take it. We want to take as few hits from them as possible because it makes it easier for us to capture all 3. There'll be another one up here. I could pick up that Shab Liquor, but we'll lose it when we load and I'll forget that I lost it. And that'll trip me up later. So we won't. Alright, hopefully we'll be able to get this Pataimel on this turn as well. It's a little bit risky. Getting it lowered obviously make it more of a sure thing, but I'd rather save my HP. Not that it matters. If we take loads of damage, we can just use a Mugwort. It's not a problem. Looks like it's going to get out. Yeah, we'll just hit it one more time. Okay, so yes, okay, so you wanted it to follow you around, so then you had to deal with it disobeying you. I can see why that would hamper your run. Get in the goddamn cocoon, Pataimel. Get in. Yeah, I think the last Pataimel will get us to capture level 4, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it still leaves us at 3. Looks like it'll just leave us at 3 still, actually. Anyway. Nice, we got a fast respawn on the Pataimel. We'll get this one weak to just ensure that we capture it. We have plenty of health to play with. And then the real run can begin. Yes, they were. Yeah, yeah, because you had the Pataimel in this game along with the Ruddle Chew, and there's another Chew. There are 3 Chews in this game as well as Jade Cocoon 2 rather. Because the family name's actually Skeeb, or the Ebe family, so it's like Pataimel, no, Pataimel, Skeeb, Terry and Radib, I think, but then the nominate is Pataimel. It's the same way. It's like you have the Pataimel, but the family is Wasp, and the Squimel, and the Radiomel or Adoimel, which are all nominate species, but their family names are different because Squimels are manties. I can't actually remember the one for the moles. Oh, I guess it's the moles. It's a rad mole. I can use my brain. I'm not stupid. What are you on about? Oh, we can only hope for a Jade Cocoon 3 maybe sometime. Eventually. Strictly maybe. Probably not though. I think you're more likely to see a fan game for Jade Cocoon 3 than any official production. Skeeb, not Steve, but maybe I did trip over myself. If I ever capture a Skeeb, I'll name it Steve. Right, so what are our stats? So we actually got 3 pretty good Pataimels here. You see their magic attack and regular attack is the same for now, but that won't be true. Yeah, okay. So we should have 3 Pataimels now, all with fire attack on Horn. And we do want to get them to level 2 probably before we're done with this forest. So while I would like, a part of me would like to wrong warp, but I don't know if a wrong warp is actually appropriate. Unfortunately, we will not be capturing a Skeeb during this challenge run. We are done with minion capturing. We aren't going to do any of that. So the nearest enemy to level on since those wasps are all gone is probably the Patashas, which should be down here, and they should be in that element right now where they're Patashas. The Mukambus, okay. That's a bit of a pain. Okay, we'll just continue going forward then. I was hoping there'd be Patashas, but I guess we would need to go back and forward again at the start. It's hard to keep track of elements in the forest. We don't want to fight Patalchu. Okay, I guess we are fighting a Patalchu. We'll hit it with Levant to make it weak enough for our Pataimels to finish it off. Because in a fist fight, our Pataimels would actually lose to this Patalchu. Well, maybe they wouldn't because they're speed, but I think they would struggle. And we have the health, so no reason not to. So provided we didn't mess up now, we should have Pataimels with special attack fire on their horn. We do. And that will do more damage than our basic attack, so we'll use it. Did 9. Why couldn't it do 10? Oh well, it's fine. I think we only need level 2 at this point. On the Pataimels, I don't think we need level 3. So there's only a handful, like a couple of fights we will have to do. And this is to get them strong enough to take down the Peralcos, which are level 4. Because we aren't allowed to use seal items in this run. Stay down Kikinak, so we actually need to get Pataimels that are strong enough to do it. And I think level 4 or 5 would do it, so killing Peralcos will get us there the fastest way. It'll be the quickest way to get us there. If I can not trip up on my own words. Okay, so I'm going to defend here because if I switch into the Pataimel, I expect the Patalchu to just get a turn. and we don't want our Buggy Boys to take any damage they don't have to. They are precious and we must protect them. I don't actually know if the special attack bonus stacks in a way that's multiplicative. Oh, they did 8 that time. Come on. Come on, Pataimel. So they have this hidden 10% buff to their special attacks. But I don't know if that's... like, if that makes them go to 132% damage on fire special attack, or if it's 130% damage on fire special attack. And that's what I don't know. These Patashas yet? There we go, finally they're Patashas. Much easier to kill than Skeebs or Pattlejuice. Well, you could measure it, but the problem is that you need a fairly high level to actually see any difference between the two. Because at the minute it's like, oh, do I do 8, 9, or 10 damage? And that could just be based on damage rolls. Well, what you'd probably do is you get a level 20 Pataimel and a level 20 Radwasp, because they're exactly the same, except that we're gonna have to work out if we can dodge these squoots. I have not done this dodge in so long. I don't think I can dodge that one. Oh, I can. Get key. Nice. Failed to dodge the last one. But yeah, I don't know if you can... Sorry, I lost my trail of thought. Yeah, so they're exactly the same, except the Pataimel you caught, or the Radwasp you caught in the Eternal Corridor, will not have that 10% damage buff to special attacks. The one thing you would have to worry about is whether or not their attack stat is exactly the same when you do this. Like, you need to make sure the attack is exactly the same. They use the same attack, and then see. Yeah, it was a bit poetic. I thought, oh, I'm actually good at this game for a second, only to be proven wrong by that squoot. They have the best family name, the Squoots. The Redoute, the Tarut. They're fantastic. At least that will heal our minions. The fact that we got into a fight and ran away from it. Oh, I didn't mash X a little bit too far. I'm not interested in hearing the story of creation. Right, let's buy. We'll just do the regular stuff. No need to be fancy, I don't think. Went to the barrier gate through the usual way. And our goal here is now to fight Heralcos. For they are air elemental and level 4. Which is perfect for our Pataimels. We'll probably tank their damage, their magic damage with Levant, and then when they're out of mana, switch to a Pataimel. We may actually take down this Mardreg with one of them first, though. We have Metamuggled, so we'll just use that to heal. The non-elemental run has somewhat ruined my ability to perceive how strong we are. Just because we're doing so much less damage to every enemy we fought due to not having access to those elemental attacks. Well, this Pataimel very much so wants it, and it shall have. We may have a very good Pataimel. That one's level 3 now. I should heal Levant. We'll run past this Maldrag because we want to fight Heralcos instead, if at all possible. So is this a Heralco? No, it's a Maldrag, okay. We can fight that as well, but I would rather... both of those have a chance of being Heralcos and neither of them are, which kind of hurts. We'll do the same thing to this Maldrag. In fact, I think we'll kill it with the same Pataimel that we just killed the last one with. Get that to level 4, and then that one can help the others up to level 4. I'm thinking 3 level 4s should be enough, if not more than enough, to take down Kikinak, but I don't actually know. I think we picked up a Shablicker, which we will almost certainly end up using on this Pataimel to heal it. It's taking a little bit of a beating. There we go. And that's 1 level 4 Pataimel. Only gained 1 attack. Okay. Should be a Heralco in here. There it is. So we're going to use this Pataimel to weaken the Heralco, then we switch to the other Pataimel. And that one gets the kill. You have to be a little bit careful because we do a lot of damage. And that should be low enough now that a different Pataimel should be able to easily finish this thing off. There's a chance of Heralco on the next screen, but it could also be a Maldrag. Hopefully it's a Heralco and we'll be done leveling and we can just go straight to Kikinak then. There you go, there it is. And it is indeed a Heralco. Nice. I think if we get a crit on these, that our Pataimels may just one-shot the Heralco now. Excuse me. Yeah, this was the fastest way I could think of to get these to level 4. Since we're not fighting every boss in this run, we won't have to fight the Poacher. damage, make it a little bit faster. But that does mean that we will have to attempt the wrong warp. And unfortunately, the Dragonfly Forest one is the one I'm the worst at. Let's see if I can dodge this Mardrake. I don't have faith. Never mind. I can learn. That dodge is a little bit more weird than the Heralco dodge when it's there. Do I pick up the? I might just pick up the chest with the skeleton key, just because the items we get in it are more valuable than the key itself. Seems like a fair enough thing to pick up. We can't use the seals that we get from this, but we can sell them. The contents of chests are almost always much more valuable than the key themselves. Right. Indeed, it is bug time. We have bugs. You've joined us just for the right time for where I failed this wrong warp. Again. No, too far back. Why must you curse me? If this misses now, I blame you. I blame you. Oh, Dragonfly Forest, why must you be the end of me? To be fair, this is literally my worst wrong warp in terms of consistency. I'm terrible at this one. Oh, I have to dodge the Mardrake again. I'm good at dodging it. Yes, we aren't using seal items, so we can't do the same strategy as before. I think we still will equip the necklace, actually. Why not? No point not. There's actually no point in doing so either. Turtle, can you move out of the way, please? Thank you. Ah. If I tried then, it would have worked. Someday, I won't suck at this one. I think that's still too far back. Second miss. Eh? Second miss. Second miss. It's such a hard spot to see. I can sort of do it based on Levant's run cycle, but the problem is that requires you to be at a particular point in the run cycle. Well, we only have one run today, so it's too late for us to not suck today. Goal is to win the game with the Buggy boys. And if we manage it, then that's it. I do, however, have no idea how long it'll take. I'm pretty sure that it will take nowhere near as long as the no elements run. Oh, that was right. Come on. Oh, every time I back out because I think I'm wrong, I'm right. And every time I try because I think I'm right, I'm wrong. No. How many times? That's 3 times where I thought I haven't had it when I actually did. And the 2 times I tried, I didn't. Gotta get better at this. Okay, back out. Try again. Nope. If I try every time, I'll lose way more turn time. It's much better to only try when you're sure, but my perception of when I'm right versus when I'm wrong is literally backwards. All bug, no element. Probably possible, but not without. I mean, I'd have to permit merging. I think it would be pretty close. It'd be very difficult. I'd need a good Kashidra fight, basically. I need a good Kashidra fight. How many times must I fail this? I think that's wrong again still. It is. That's still wrong? No, that's right. Whenever I go out of the menu and jump back in immediately after like taking a pixel step forward, I always feel like it's wrong. Maybe. Maybe. No. At this point, it's probably faster to fight the poacher, but I should just keep trying. My sense of that wrong warp is so bad. This is still a Mardrag, isn't it? Stand here for a second, and run. Yeah, I mean, at least we're not doing an 80% run where I just headbutt this wrong warp over and over again, just keep failing. I wish the transition screen was slightly closer so I could actually measure it more precisely. But because Levant's so far down, it's really hard to see where he stood. Down to like his shadow or whatever. Oh. I was right to back out there, but if I'd gone into the menu again after taking a fraction of a step further forward. Okay. Just keep trying. We just gotta keep trying. Don't think too hard about it. Just keep trying. Oh, thank you. Okay. Finally got it. Four tries the charm. The day I get that in one try without going through to the next screen is the day I beat my PB, like by a mile. Give me sleep spores. I don't know how useful these will actually be to us, but I want them. And now this is where we find out that level 4 is not sufficient for the Pataimels to be Kikinak. So Kikinak, despite being non-elemental, is actually slightly weak to the fire element. I didn't realize those guys weren't fully healed. That's not a problem. I don't think it will take 9 fire attacks to finish Kikinak. Buggy boy number 1. Yeah, no, this is. I probably didn't even need to level the other Pataimels, if I'm honest. I guess I would need 2. If anyone's looking to do this run... Oh, this Pataimel's dead. Didn't expect the double attack. I'm sorry, Pataimel, I should have done right by you. So we will have to use Mabu to heal that Pataimel, but we don't need to yet. Vengeance for our fallen brother. Great Walnut. Nice. Yes, Kikinak's level 6. Yeah, if someone for some reason wants to optimize this run. I mean, I suppose you'd use seal items anyway, so you wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, you do have to talk to him about the callus powder. If you try to leave, he forces you to stay until you talk to him about it. So yes, skipping through his dialogue is illegal. We're just very fast readers. We aren't skipping anything. Alright. We'll do the usual skip through the spider forest. Village attacks, we go save village. Fail to save village, everyone gets turned to stone by Bry after human sacrifice. We go on prophesized trip to save world from darkness. There you go, that's the story. Basically. There's actually loads of lore in this game. But we don't have hours and hours to consume it all. Right, let's... First try would be nice. That's too far out, though. That's also too far out. That might not be. We'll give it a go. We got nothing else to lose after failing those wrong warps. Hey, we did it first try. Alright, go past the snakes. Snakes are yellow. Which is still bad, because we do want to fight Shulliers. That's going to be how we get our Pataimels higher level. What would that prize be in? I can't even remember. Is that maths? Oh no, the writing one. It's the writing one. I have a brain. I can remember things. Or even the maths one. That wouldn't make sense. Writing makes sense. So that's logical deduction, that is. Alright. Forest is cursed. Much like this run. To be fair, I don't think you could summarize this story in any faster fashion. Alright, so we're going to get a heal here. This will revive our poor lost Pataimel. Yeah, our minion injured. I'm sorry, I will make sure that Pataimel doesn't die again. I do not want to do that again to that Pataimel. Well, I'll try not to. I have no idea if I'll be able to make it survive the entire time, but I will do my best to keep it from dying. Alright. So, next we have to work out how we're going to take down Gigoat. What we're probably going to do is fight some Shulliers to get our Pataimels to level 10 or 11 each. That's probably the most reliable thing to do. I'm not sure if you could live by not sleeping. It'd be a lot more productive if you could find a way to bypass the need of sleep, of course. Alright. I believe taking down the poacher is like the strict halfway mark of this game, basically. Because that's halfway through the 4th forest, and there's only 3 forests after it. Why did I go to the village square? Saw the village square for a second there. Oh, I need to go to Grai's house. That's why. I can remember the order of what I'm doing. Always get caught on Kelmar. Brain was on autopilot. It was just like, I go to the bottom of the list now, right? Nope. I don't know if you would. I feel like if everyone had loads of extra time in their lives, firstly, corporations would have us working far more hours. Probably. And then you might end up in that situation where you have like a paralysis of choice, where you have so much free time that you find you don't know what to do with any of it, and then you don't do anything as a consequence. Though some people would be ridiculously productive. But sleeping does kind of help with our perception of time. Alright. There we go. Now we go to the bottom of the menu. And we shall equip the Ricketts Garb. So, I don't know if we want level 11 or level 10 on our Pataimels here. Yeah, that wouldn't be very useful. Those... I should have equipped the arm, but I knew there would be an Asher there because the snakes were yellow. That's the tricky part with keeping up a conversation, is you forget what you're actually meant to be doing. Right. Much like work, I forget what I'm doing when I talk to people. Right, let's fight this Shulia. We're just going to let it use its magic on Levant, and then I'm going to switch to a Pataimel to finish it off. We picked up a key, so the bitter mugwort that we get in the chest in the next room we can use, because that extra key we picked up is going to pay the difference. There we go, Levant is a bit beaten. We're going to get one attack in with this Pataimel, and then probably switch to the even lower level Pataimels. I probably could have just used the level 4s to be fair, because Shulias have base 10 attack, which is, again, like, it's 1/10 of the amount it would have if everything had flat stats. It's very important that our Buggy boys gain the levels. Grow up big and strong. Alright, we have a level 10 Buggy boy. The Buggy boy that died is now the Buggy boy that could. Alright, that's bitter mugwort special liquors. Good stuff. Gonna go into this next room, where there are more Shulias. And now we're going to use the level 10 Pataimel to get more level 10 Pataimels. Unless... One thing I do need to be aware of is that it's possible that this Pataimel just one-shots the Shulia. He's now big. Yeah, Bug's a bit too beefy. Bug just one-shots the Shulia. Okay, we're going to have to... I guess we now have a level 11. We'll heal Levant and use Levant as a meat shield again. That seems like the obvious next step, since that particular Buggy boy is a bit too strong. I could have probably predicted that that would happen when I saw how much damage the level 6 did to it. Would have been nice if it put on like 1 health. I'm not going to complain that our minion is strong enough to one-shot the Shulia, but that's why I said it would be risky to use Shulias in a magic-only run. Because of their complete lack of physical defense. Which thing they're nicknamed, the Shulia or the Buggy boy? Oh, you probably could do. I could do a Jade Cocoon Nuzlocke. I have a few more challenge run ideas. The difficulty with Nuzlocke is that the minions that you would capture are predetermined. Like, it's the same every single time. Unless you do it on the first minion that you get hit by, rather than the first minion you encounter. There you go, Shulia's back. I, 'cause, 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 ' Oh, the Buggy boys. It's just what I call them. Yeah, so the other challenge runs I have the inclination to do at the minute are Jade Cocoon, but I can't level up. Specifically, my minions can't level up. And magic only. Yeah. Well, you would be able to choose how you combined your minions. But, and also so that the tutorial fights in the first forest, which gives you Arpatron, would that count, or would it be the Pataimel in the following room? Because it's a tutorial fight, because you do encounter Arpatron in the Beetle Forest. I don't know, you'd have to work out the rules for a Nuzlocke challenge, but it's definitely a run I can look into doing. Three health left. Yeah. Any other minion, a level 4 should not beat a level 10. If the Shredded Manor, it would win, but it doesn't, so it doesn't win. Alright, we now have 3 Buggy Boys that are all level 10. So, sorry, we have 2 level 10s and a level 11, actually. Correct myself. So, that may be enough to take down... Okay, yeah. Well, you can beat the game if you manage to get a Mardreg and an Arpatron, and Mardreg is the first minion you encounter in the Dragonfly Forest. Then you can complete the game just because you have those 2 minions. So I'm not sure if that'd be interesting. That's just an any % run at that point, unfortunately. We already know the game is beatable with just those 2 minions. So I think you'd have to apply some extra constraints. What do you mean by how would that work? I don't think there are code mods for this game, to be fair. What I would be very interested in doing if we did have code mods would be a minion randomizer, so every encounter or every minion spawn in each room is randomized. Like the levels are mapped to match, but what minion it is random. I'd like to see that. So I think that would be very interesting. That would be far more adaptive in terms of what you do. And possibly like randomize the order of the bosses. But it'd be pretty tricky to get a proper setup for modding this game. You can't hook into it very easily given it's a PAL game. Really, I just hope that I get like a spiral in the first forest. That's really what I'd want. But I could get absolute garbage. Alright, so Gigoat shouldn't be too much of a problem, provided our Pataimels hit him. Level 10 does seem to have been enough. Or be enough, I should say. We'll get one more hit in, and then we'll switch to our second Pataimel. Okay, that was a little scary. One regular attack should do it. Ooh, okay, double attack on the Gigo. PAL is it's the European version of the game. I don't actually remember what PAL stands for either. Off the top, I don't remember what NTSC stands for either. I really don't remember. But I know NTSC is the American version, PAL's the European. It might be the console name. Not sure. Oh, poacher blocking my Pataimel. Very rude. Yeah, that's why I specify that we're playing the PAL version rather than the NTSC version. PAL runs slower than the American version as well. Everything's slightly slower. Which is why the intro sequence takes us like a couple minutes extra. And the whole game takes longer by just virtue of that. The best possible time in the NTSC cannot be matched by PAL. Alright. Oh, I thought I'd pressed X for that last time. There we go. Okay, we're halfway through the run. In terms of progress, not necessarily in terms of what I need to do to keep going. So we have Tuturus and Delphinel are probably the ones I'm more worried about than Kashidra. Kashidra will have that water phase, which will be very scary, to be fair. Like, if Kashidra gets a couple heals, that'll be a problem for us. Asha didn't respawn, nice. But if Kashidra uses their water turns to heal, then that means that our Pataimels aren't being hit by the element they're weak against. So that's I'm kind of neutral on that. Like, I think if we get Kashidra healing, that's not good, obviously, but it may not be as bad as it would be in other runs. Just because we have all of our minions are weak. I forgot to pick up the skeleton key in the poacher room, so we'll pick up that one to compensate. We picked up an extra skeleton key in the beetle forest, so we should be fine on money. Sorry, just adjusting my mic. Yeah, there are lots of cool runs you can do in this game, but a lot of it's just a matter of if you want to do anything complicated, you'll need mod support for it. And I do not know how to mod this game. But there's plenty we can do without modding it. For example, we're currently doing Pataimels only, which is also the same as Fire Elemental only. A run you might want to try, or could try doing, is Earth, Water, or Air only. The only one I'm vaguely sketchy on whether or not you could do it, though, is Air. And that's just because Tuturus might be a bit strong. But even then, I think you could quite reliably beat this game using minions of only one element. Which minion of that element may change the story. I don't think you can win this game using only Scroots. Not without doing the remapping of abilities that I did to get these Pataimels to have the fire attack. And even then, Scroots might not have the stats. But Mardreg, like 3 Mardregs, easy. 3 Teardregs, or Tefrades, 3 Arpatrons, all easy. If we had enough people in the chat, you could do Jade Cocoon, but chat picks the minions, which could go terribly. But that requires a bit more of an audience. But it'll take me a while before I run out of ideas anyway. And now for the slowest walking scene in a video game. Look at him go. I've seen people walk that slowly when they're like talking to someone, but never by themselves. Yeah, it'd just be you two going, oh no, pick that one. And one of you, not naming any names, will be trying to get me to pick all the worst minions to possibly beat the game with. And just absolutely screw my chances of winning. Oh yeah, you couldn't speedrun chat picks the minion. Like, you'd have to like pause every now and then to do a poll or something like that to decide which minion you get. And then do you do like 1 minion per forest or 2 minions per forest? I don't know. I think I would want to retain control over merging at the very least. Just to stop it devolving into a situation where I have to just over level to an obscene degree to win. There are a lot of cool looking minions in this. There are loads that I'd love to use, but they appear a bit late on for us to be able to run, but only this minion. Like, I'd love to do a dongle only run, or a Hirosag only run. That'd be kind of cool. But they appear too far into the game. They'd only have to fight the Earth boss. It wouldn't be very entertaining. Right, Great Walnut, don't need it. All of these things that we would normally have, none of it. That thing, don't need it. That, don't need it. Okay. What we do want, sleeve spores as usual, just for safety. Mirrors, definitely need mirrors. Get weapons. I want Little Bird. And I want a Sparrow's Ruff. Sell the Silver Crown we had equipped. Yeah. Let's get Meta Mugworts, let's get 6 of them. And let's get a bunch of fine liquors. Right, that should set us up for the rest of the run. Probably. So we are going to have to overlevel our Pataimels now. And by overlevel I mean not massively, but we need to get some levels on them. So there should be swabs. Swabs are actually, I think when I was younger, the swabs were my favorite minion. They're cool. They're 3-headed flying dragons. I thought they were very cool. And I believe they're level 11, so killing one of them will get us to level 12. But we need to really be at like level 14. 14, 13, 13 might be good enough. I'd rather 14, 14, 14 for safety, but we may give it a go at 14, 13, 13. Yeah, so our minions are a bit badly damaged. We'll run from this swav and pick a fight with the next one, because that'll heal up our Pataimels a little bit more. Dwarves have good physical defense, but they're very slow. And they have good magic attack, but I don't believe they use it on a minion that isn't weak to its element. It's like, I don't believe this fire one will use its magic, because we are fire as well. And yeah, they have this physical attack, but the physical attack is basically worthless. Alright, so that's one level 12 Pataimel. I think we already have one level 12 Pataimel, but we're going to need a few more levels. There are Hackaroos in this forest, which is what we're going to be primarily leveling on, because they are air. There we go. I probably could have fought that first swab, actually, looking at that. Right, so we'll go around this way, because I believe currently there'll be Pat Dregs, there'll be fire instead of the yellow Hackaroos that we want. Squirrel just nearly ran straight into our face there. Hello, Squirrel. There's the other one. Oh, will you... Can you move out of the way? Thank you. So yeah, that's a Pat Dreg. We don't want that. We want the Hackaroos, the air ones. Like one of these. There you go, 2 Hackaroos, and they are level 12, which makes them very good for leveling up our Pataimels on. So what they will do is they'll set the arena element to wind, which will boost wind attacks, but then I don't believe they'll actually use any wind attacks. Alright, see you, dude. Depending on how long you're gone, you may be back in time. And now we're going to switch to our level 10 Pataimel to finish off this Hackaroo to get that one to level 12. We don't want to neglect any of our Pataimel's levels, just because we don't know how many we're going to need to use. Well, that was rude. Okay, cool. I love how the minions change shape as they get bigger. That is very good. That is really good. So I can't remember if that item increases the attack or speed of the minion. I believe it increases speed. But either way, oil on the minion is very good. Oh. For some reason that counted as a side attack. I must have been running at an awkward angle. Okay, we'll switch back to our level 13 Pataimel. If we have this Pataimel kill both of these, it'll be high enough level to finish. Sorry, high enough level to fight the tourist by my reckoning. He's getting pretty big now, from the tiny little buggy boy he used to be. But don't you know, designing forests takes a lot of time. So they just went, do it again. More of the same, please. It would have been quite cool if all these forests are different, but it is kind of thematic that they are the same. So yes, we have a 38 attack Pataimel, 33 speed, so 31 and 31. It'll be hard to tell where the stat difference really kicks in. Okay, so there's a hacker over here as well. We'll fight this one as well. And this should get our other two Pataimels to level 13. There'll be a Pat Manti with them, but we don't. The Pat Manti's not any harder to kill, really. It does have drain HP, which may be a little bit annoying. But we're going to have one Pataimel kill the hacker, the other one kill the Pat Manti. But this is, I think, the stage in the game where we're going to start seeing the problem of the Pataimels not having enough defense when we fight tourists, because that poison tail is going to do so much damage. Like, it'll possibly two-shot us because of our really bad defense. And just using up this Patamanti's health because we're going to heal. I'm going to switch to the other level 12. (13, 13, 14) may be enough, I'm not actually sure. If it isn't, then we're just going to have to suck it up and deal with it. Which basically just means level the Pataimels a little bit more, try again, but then don't use a Deva's Mirror. Do we have... Nice, that's a high attack Pataimel. Okay. So let's... Could you move out the way, please? Thank you. Yeah, they sort of did the same thing with the music, they just made it sound creepy, but the same theme. Alright, let's heal up these Pataimels and us while we're at it. And let's see if we can take down the fire boss. Alright, that's just Deva's Mirror Witch Pataimel. I think we'll use the level 14 as like the backup, so we'll start with this one. The level 13 has the same attack power as the level 14 because it got good RNG on the level ups. So I'm going to defend, and that's so Tourist doesn't get a turn on our Levant's poison immediately. That's just because I want to make sure we get as many turns as possible with our Pataimel, because again they don't have much health. We're relying on the arena bonus to fire damage to give this Pataimel increased damage output. Yeah, that poison tail does a lot. We're actually mostly fine with drain mana because we have so many Pataimels. I'd still rather fire magical attack, of course. That's a little annoying, but we will continue to use this Pataimel until it's nearly dead. Oh, that does nothing. Do I block with Pataimel for mana? No, I don't think I can. Okay, so the other Pataimels aren't immune to the poison. So we need to try to not use Poison Tail on them. Okay, fine with that. Fine with that. Not so fine with that. How much of our health does that take away from us? I think we live one more attack, so we will go for this. And then we will switch to our last Pataimel, which we need to not be poisoned. Weirdly enough, because the fire boss is non-elemental, it is actually better to hit the fire boss with a fire attack than any other element. It's true of all of the elemental bosses, actually. If you use their element on them, that actually does the most damage. This Pataimel's going to get all the glory to make up for that death earlier. We may end up fighting the wind boss just because we're going to need to do a fair bit of fighting in the Dark Spider Forest. And it'll be easier if I don't have to worry about wrong warping. But we will still wrong warp into the Dark Spider Forest initially. Because we're going to need to do a bit of leveling in the Dark Spider Forest as well. I think as a minimum safety net, we should have all of our minions be level 20. Because it's a bit awkward to get them to 21, it takes a while. I think 20 is a reasonable level to get them all to. Then killing Earth Boss and Delphinel will get them to 21. If we got 2 Pataimels to 21, we could technically get them to 22 for Kashidra, but I don't think that's necessary. Go around here. Alright, Dark Dragonfly Forest. And as usual, we are going to wrong warp straight to the Dark Spider Forest instead. After running away from some fights. By the voiceover, do you mean the Prophet? Who says stuff to you at the start of, at the end of every level? I suppose he does sound a little bit like Liam Neeson. I hadn't really thought to make that comparison though. There's the dongle. Can't dodge him, he's too big. I think if he's not asleep, you can dodge him though. This is where all my escape luck goes. Goes into challenge runs instead of the any percent. I see, I see. Makes sense to me. Oh, I love the Earth Zulmus. Just because they're called Magoos. Such a funny name. Oh, no escape. Okay. Try again. Please let me run Zulmus. Your water element, it's too much of a pain in the ass to actually beat you in combat. Thank you. Okay. Now we have to try the other Dragonfly Wrong Warp that I always mess up. I mean, I'm slightly better at this one than I am at the early game one. The early game one's the one that really screws me. Right, here we go. That's too far out. Oh no, it was right. If I'd done it then, oh, that would have been sick. But unfortunately, I suck. Oh, that was right as well. Okay, the hitbox seems to be a bit further out than I thought. Yeah, they use a couple of them, but most of them are gone. Yeah, there are the ones that are like clearly inspired by them, though. Like the mantises. The Pataimel's still there. Oh, to think I could have gotten this first try. And I doubted myself. Like an idiot. That just doesn't feel right. I mean, maybe it is right. It is, okay, that is right, but it feels wrong because he looks so far out of the zone. It just looks wrong, but it isn't. There we go. Dark Spider Forest, first try. We actually have to use the wrong warp to get to the end of this game now. Because we wrong warped earlier, we have to wrong warp again. Ah, the Buggy boys have nearly done it. They're nearly there. So we're going to fight the Earth Boss Ghosts to get our Pataimels to level 19. They'll each take down one ghost each. Sorry, they'll each take one each. That's good. That's good grammatical English. And they'll each take one down. Then they'll need to take down 2 level 18s, and that'll get them all the way to level 20. If we can do that without being killed by anything, then we'll just go straight to the final boss. I'm trying to remember which designs got... which one survived. So the Gnui obviously survived. The Yo-Yo minion from Jade Cocoon 2 is based on a minion in Jade Cocoon 1. The Kalma are based on the Nereid family, which is also what the Asher family is based on, but that's only in the Western versions of the game. So that design persisted. The Chews obviously persisted. The Mardregs did as well. Quite a lot of them actually did. Dongles did as well. Gyral sort of did. The Gyral Spiral. They sort of persisted, but not in the same way. The snakes didn't, like there is a snake minion in Jade Cocoon 2, but it doesn't look I guess it's closest to like a Squoot, but it doesn't really look the same. Twingu survived, but again looks very, very different. That's still clearly which minion it's meant, like it is meant to be based off. But to be fair, it would have been much worse if they released Jade Cocoon 2 and all the minion designs were the same. But there are some cool concepts they definitely dropped. There's big Pataimel. May as well get one of these level 13s a bit higher level so it's easier for them to take down the Earth boss. I think they could still easily do it, but may as well make sure. That's going to do a fair bit. That's air attack plus power. You only have enough mana to do it twice. Right. I want to go this way, actually. So we'll get the other one to level 17 as well. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a fair few fights to get them all to level 20. But I think it'll be worth it to do that. If nothing else, only 2 of them can level up from the Earth boss fight. So having that third one be level 20 as well, just make it that little bit easier. Wait, I switched the wrong Pataimel, didn't I? I switched the wrong Pataimel. You know, it's fine. We could possibly avoid fighting one of the risky Earth boss ghost in that case. Actually, so that may have accidentally worked out quite well for us. This will be a 2 of them, yeah, Babenza as well. We'll kill both of these with this level 19, just to be efficient with their EXP. We'd have to kill a fair number of these minions to get to level 20. This is definitely a good start. There you go, that's halfway. Looks like. Maybe a bit under. Alright. Second Earth boss ghost. I think because we have a level 18, fighting an Earth boss ghost will give it the same amount of EXP as killing a level 18. So maybe get it to level, make it fight level 18 and then we fight the third Earth boss ghost and that puts it straight to 20. That's an option. Okay, I'm glad that that didn't crit. Alright, now we need to switch to the level 13. The small Pataimel. Well, smaller. I don't think any of them are small. There we go. I got Great Walnut. Normally you get Bloody Garb from those guys rather than Great Walnuts. Right, leave this area. The only enemy worth fighting right now is Spirals. There's an Earth one of these. We get this level 19 to kill it. Because then it'll definitely take one Spiral to get it to 20. Yeah, it'll take a few more attacks, but I'm alright with that. Yeah, Mardreg of this level has like 500 health instead of the 362 that we have. And our defense is really low. Come on, finish it off. Oh, okay. This Pataimel actually quite badly bruised now. Thorin doesn't have enough mana to do that attack again. Yeah, should be a Spiral up here. Hopefully it's just the Spiral, it might be two. Yeah, it's just the Spiral. So we want to kill it with our level 18. And that one will go straight to 19. Spirals are a little bit tricky for us to fight because they have very good attack stats. We obviously do beat them, but they have very good rate of block and that kind of thing, which just gets in the way and makes it awkward to fight them. Two attacks to take down that 250. Should take this and not die. There we go. Switch to the level 18. Yeah, I was just doing that to weaken it. Okay, I mean, let's just need one more level, and then I'm happy to try to take down the final bosses. So this one should level from fighting this. Provided it wins the fight, of course. It was a little bit bruised going into this, so we need it to not miss. Alright, one regular attack should do it. And that's one level 20. So now we're going to fight the last Earth boss ghost. It's a little bit risky. Just because it's kind of hard to get out of the area where you're fighting. So this thing will turn to the right, and then you run past it and you get in. The problem, or the difficult part, is getting out again. But we have sleep spores, because we didn't use them earlier. So 2 level 20s, 1 level 19. If we make sure the level 19 is the one to score the killing blow on Deva now, and then another one on the Earth boss, that actually will be fine. So I think we'll go with that. Use this Pataimel. Get extra turn. There we go. And that should get that Pataimel to level 20. There we go. So we're going to leave here, and we're going to leave here, and then we're going to use our sleep spores. That puts the snakes to sleep. And we can just leave. There'll also probably be a spiral that's asleep up here. If we're lucky, maybe not, but probably. Because it'll now be a... Yeah, there you go. You can dodge it. Yeah, I don't want to fight that one right now because it's water element. It'll take me much longer to kill. So now we have to go to the wrong warp spot, and we have to perform the wrong warp. If we fail it, we can just clear the air boss regularly because we have 3 fire minions that are level, level 20. But it would be nice to just wrong warp instead. Don't know if that's quite right. Yeah, it was wrong. I think the facing angle was a bit off. It's not a problem. We'll just clear the air forest the intended way. I don't want to bother with the wrong warp. I don't think it's necessary. It'd probably be faster, but I just don't think it's necessary. What would have been faster is if we didn't mess up that wrong warp. One downside we will have to deal with, though, is the fact that we won't be able to use a mirror during the fight against the air boss. That is one strict downside we will have to deal with. I also want to heal Levant. How many sleep spores do we have? 2. That's fine. No, I thought I could dodge that fine. If I used it earlier, then probably. Okay, we weren't punished anyway. For our hubris. There'll be a fight up here we have to run away from as well. A Skarunga. I think the Unga is the family name for those. That set. Redunga, Tarunga, etc. Alright. Mugu? No, Zulmu. Can we run around it? Yeah, plenty of space. The one thing that's a bit weird, given the age, like it's a consequence of the age of the game, but minions that are asleep don't close their eyes. They go into a sleeping posture, but their eyes are still open. They don't have eyelids. Alright. So we're going to hope that Cetarian doesn't use sleep. Or at least if Cetarian uses sleep that it doesn't take. And our minions wake up instantly. / aren't put to sleep. Ooh. Sorry, my sound went for a second there. That was weird. Well, some people sleep with their eyes open. And they're terrifying. I probably do just use a fire attack on the wind boss. Okay, never mind, he blocked it anyway. I have enough mana that, like, I think the Pataimel kills Cetarian if it manages to use all its mana. Oh, straight in with the sleep. Well... I guess if it's going to use the heal spell, we can't do anything about it. It may as well be when it's on full health already. We may lose one of the Pataimels as a consequence, like to Cetarian, depending on which attacks they do. But the sleep is the one we don't want. Otherwise, it's pretty free. It's gonna heal again. Yeah, so this Pataimel is probably done for now. Oh, it woke up. We can save it. We can save the Pataimel. How could you imagine if Kikinak was Kelmar? He just snuck into the forest. Had been beating people up and was secretly like a demoted divine spirit. May as well get some experience on the level 19. I don't think it'll level it up, but if it does, I'm not going to complain. Now double turn. Wind Boss has got a lot of speed. Explains the blocking as well. I think a regular attack will be enough now. Provided it's not blocked. Okay, cool. Character tier list. Oh, nice. That was enough to get it to level 20. I guess they must both be level 18. Cetarian and Wind Boss. So two of them is the same as fighting a level 19, which gives our level 19 to level 20. What were the tiers they put the characters in that was unacceptable? Yami is in... Wait. When you say Yami, do you mean... You're talking about the forest people, right? As in Yamu. Actually, doesn't hold a... Yami doesn't hold a key role in the game, so I can kind of get why they would do that, but at the same time, Yami's pretty funny. Alright, all we want to do is successfully wrong warp. Too far out. Probably right. Where's our foot at? Oh, I think the angle's completely off. Angle's completely off. Two upwards. If we were facing more sideways there, that would have done it. I can't forget what was the Yamu-like name that they gave? Because it's like, is it like Totoyamu? I just say Mamon. Because that's obviously the divine spirit that he was. Alright, let's try this again. We don't care about the element of the dragon. Grotta? I'm trying to remember who Grotta is. I don't think I remember who Grotta is. Where do we encounter Grotta? Hitbox is so big on the spiral. Please let me run. Please. Please. Is Grotta the storytelling old man? Well, he's probably more notable in a... Like, if he's the storytelling old man, then that kind of makes sense as far as why he's there on the list at all. He does explain the game's story if you listen to him. Gives you all the backstory and everything. Bleeds game. Have mercy on me. Oh, he's the chief. He's the chieftain. Everyone just calls him Lord Chieftain. I did not realize that, that he has a name. There aren't really. I wasn't familiar if there were any side quests in this game. The only thing he does give you that I remember is the Champion's Belt, and we wrong warped to skip that sequence. I don't know if you're talking about the Chieftain there or the Storyteller. But I don't think there are side quests in the game, really. There's optional bosses, which could, I guess you could sort of count as a side quest. Alright. Can Pataimels take down the Earth boss? We will mirror our first Pataimel. And then we will summon it. So we've got 18 mana on all of our Pataimels, so that's 24 special attacks that we have access to. Oh, okay, so like main story quests, which we just sort of skip over. Do we get a turn? I'd like a turn. Thank you. Get him, Buggy boy. Get him. Oh god, Pataimel. You have no health. Yeah, this is the thing I was slightly concerned about. The fact that our minions have not a lot of defensive stats. We take a lot of damage. It's probably going to require all of our Pataimels to take down Delphinel. Do I sacrifice a Pataimel? Like, do I just throw it in? I think I do. I think I throw it in. I accept that this Pataimel dies. Because this is the one that's immune to being turned to stone. So I want to get as many hits in as I can with this one, so that the others are less likely to be turned to stone. We have revival items that we can use for just before Kashidra. Be a hero, Pataimel. Oh, you didn't block it. I'm sorry, my child. I had no choice. So whenever Pataimel gets the kill on Delphinel, we want to keep alive. Oh, nice. Double turn off the bat. Okay, we have to block that. That's fine, because we're not wasting a double turn. So this Pataimel has good odds for being the one that kills Delphinel. Okay, sure. I do think we'll get a double turn here based on the speed of Pataimel, but I'd rather be sure. Yeah, there you go, there's the double turn. So a couple seconds lost there by choosing to not attack, but always better safe. Okay, in fact, never mind. We wouldn't have quite killed him. Okay, you can do this, Pataimel. I believe in you. Thank you for not failing to hit. We'll now switch to our other Pataimel to kill Earth Boss. then we have to heal everyone up. And then hope we get a good Kashidra. Okay, just Kashidra left. Delphin I was a little bit worried about, because if he uses Flesh to Stone immediately, that can cause a problem. Oh. There you go. Why not? Okay. Okay. Just Kashidra now. We may have to use the Pataimel that just died as a sacrificial Pataimel. That may be necessary. If possible, I'd like every Pataimel to survive this. But one of them's gonna have to take the laser beam. One of them's gonna have to take the water laser beam. And it's honestly probably better if the lowest level one is the one that does it. Because one cycling Kashidra would require multiple critical hits. Multiple criticals, probably when Kashidra's in air element. If Kashidra decides to just hang about in air for a long time, we might be alright. But I wouldn't count on it. Yeah, this I think is going to come down to the Kashidra. Does Kashidra choose to heal themselves during water element or not? I do think because of the equipment we have with Levant and we have another Tendai, we can revive a minion during this fight. But I'm hoping for a fight that's not quite as close as the no elemental attacks one. That's what I'm hoping for. Capture level 3 at the end. I mean, you're at that capture level in the any percent as well. It's just funny. Okay, so Earth Kashidra. And we switch to our first Pataimel. This is vengeance for all the Buggy boys that we have to kill at the start of our runs. That does not do anything. Oh, nice. Nice. I'm actually going to switch to the level 21 Pataimel. Slightly more damage. But when it's water or earth, I want to use that other Pataimel. Nice. When the magic attacks do less damage than the physical ones. We'll stay with this Pataimel while it's in fire elements because of the fire elemental boost. We will take more damage, but we have a second level 21 Pataimel. Fire magic, that's better than the fire physical attack. Okay. I think I think I sacrificed this Pataimel. Laser. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I tried to not let you die again. Please switch to Earth. Oh my god, the laser one-shots. I did not anticipate that at all. I did not think the laser would one-shot. That's terrifying. That's so much damage. I mean, I guess powered up by the arena, I should have just blocked. It may have had a shot at surviving. I didn't realize it would one-shot a Pataimel. Okay, Kashidra down. Oh, I feel bad for that Pataimel now. Died in both of the last two fights. As usual, time is called once we get the final blow on the chosen one. Do it, Pataimel. For all of the other Pataimels that have to die. Oh, I was hoping for a crit. That would have been, you know, climactic, but okay. I still believe in you. He talked down to you. He sent you out to against an opponent you could never defeat. Yes, we did it. There we have it. Jade Cocoon, but we can only use Pataimel. They have done it. It is indeed possible to beat the game using nothing but Pataimels. To be fair, we did give them different abilities from what they would naturally have. But they were never merged, and the only thing in our minion log is Pataimel. We never caught, as far as the game is concerned, we never caught a different minion. Granted, not capturing other minions wasn't even in the requirements. It was just to not attack and not use minions that weren't Pataimel. Well, we could attack with the Levant, but we couldn't attack with, like, if we caught a Petit, we couldn't. Sorry, Pataimel. But there we go. I still feel bad for that Pataimel that died to that laser. I mean, I knew a sacrifice would have to be made, but I didn't realize that he was just going to die immediately. I'm glad that I threw that other Pataimel under the bus, actually, a little bit. Because if I'd switched, go, oh, we can make them all live, then I would have potentially lost two Pataimels. Like, both healthy Pataimels, and been stuck with a 93 HP one. I mean, it worked out, whatever the case was. But don't mess with Pataimel, is the lesson to take away from this one. He'll come back and absolutely ruin your life. That's a massive wasp. If you ever encountered a wasp that size, it'd be absolutely terrifying. Could you imagine a wasp that large coming at you? Yes, that Pataimel was very much so get down, Mr. President.
When the four
Gave its
divine
life.
barriers are dispelled, the power of light and darkness shall usher in the time of gathering. Kumari and Kaya, the guardian deities of light and darkness, shall be released by the twin dragons of Kemu. The chosen ones of light and darkness shall meet, and only then will the accursed ones be granted repose, and man shall obtain yet another fruit of knowledge, but it shall bear the seeds of responsibility.
Don't mess with Pataimel. Why he can't go back to the... Oh, you mean between Jade Cocoon 1 and 2? I don't actually know. I assume he can. But he's like guardian of the temple and the Nagi people have left. So I think he's stuck there because of that. Someone has to protect the temple. Also, I just noticed that I didn't change the title for the stream we were doing. It still says any percent Palemu. Which, to be fair, this was sort of an any percent run. Sort of. Very sort of. I could submit this run. I don't know why I would. It's slower than my other one, but I could. Didn't break any of the rules. Could have done that with the non-elemental attack as well, actually. Yeah, there's not a whole lot happening in that village. Also, the setting for Jade Cocoon 2... Yeah, she's gone, so why would you want to go back? And Mob is with you, so... But there is, like... I can't remember what the time frame is meant to be, but I think it's like hundreds of years later. Jade Cocoon 2. It's meant to be so long late, like so far in the future, that everyone Levant knows has died, aside from Kikinak. And obviously Ra and... I can't remember. Mu? Those two are still around. But I think those two don't age. I think they're like... I don't actually know why they don't. I can't remember. But there we go. 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 54 seconds for Pataimels to beat the whole game. Game clock says 1 hour 50. The time drift makes no sense. But there we go. So next we'll be back at the any percent runs. I'll probably be next week, just so I have time to actually do things other than this in my life. Went back after making sure Louis had gone. Do you think that would be really funny? Because obviously Louis would age and he didn't. So you could have just turned up, looked at Louis, and Louis would be an old man. And suddenly the dynamic is reversed and Levant's the young one. Anyway, thank you for watching. I shall be back at streams probably next week. And we'll get more challenge runs done then. As well as more any percent runs where hopefully, I get a bit better at the Dragonfly Wrong Warps and we don't lose so much time to that.